Shalom. I'm Priest and Officer Gabarmath, ISUPK, Connecticut. We are ISUPK, set out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, so-called Native Indians, or First Nations the true culture and heritage as it pertains to the Bible, most importantly, history, secondarily, and archaeology. That we are the Israelites according to the Bible, and that our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. All right. Please bear with me while I put some things into the chat. Don't slow. Salakia. Bear with me. Remember to sign in. Always sign in. Use the attendance sheet and also sign in to the chat. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also comment, like, share, subscribe, and comment. All of it helps the algorithm spread this truth. For questions or counsel, you can go on isupk.com to find a school near you. If you're in Connecticut, on the bottom of the screen, beneath me, you'll see call for class information or counsel at 2003-548-0040. Again, that's 203-548-0040. isupk.com. Otherwise, find the school listing and the number for the school that is nearest you. Again, just bear with me. One more minute. This class is part 3. Shalom to Yapash Ayara Yahawada. Shalom to Labab and Yamyan. And we'll get started in just a moment. And remember, attend class for 90 days and get your Hebrew name. It's important that we reconnect with our culture, our heritage. You understand? It's important that we get to know our customs again. That is one of our customs, to have a name within our nation's tongue. All right. Again, I'm Priest and Officer Baramath, ISUPK, Connecticut. We are ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana since 1969. We've been teaching the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who they really are. Not who they think they are, not who their oppressor tells them, but who they actually are, which are the Israelites. And our oppressor that is learning from us. And we are learning that the oppressor is the devil, which means deceiver, the Bible speaks of. Now we have gone over Job 9 and 24, Isaiah 58 and 1, Genesis 10 and 5, Genesis 11, 6 through 7, Zephaniah 2, 1 and 2, Romans 15 and 4, Amos 5, 1 through 27, 2 Corinthians 6 and 17, Romans 12 and 10, Matthew 10 and 5, John 4 and 22, Acts 5 and 30, and we are going to continue. Now, if you haven't been watching class, again, go back and watch the class from the beginning of the series for the breakdowns and explanations so you can get the flow of the class. Again, it's important not to just come into class on all willy-nilly. Stay in class so you can get the gist of what's being said, and don't just come into class on a whim and pick up something midstream and think you're going to understand it. All right? We're going to start today with Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Yapa Shayara, if you may.
Okay.
If you will, I should say. When you have it, read.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
And it shall what?
And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass. Again, why are we reading Deuteronomy 28 and 1? Right? Because we have to shake off the Christianity, man. We got to shake off all of the things that the Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nationers or Native Indians or indigenous peoples, they're calling all those things. Those are all bywords, right, of our people. We got to shake all that off, and we got to get to the root of why we're in the condition we're in. And also that will tell us how we're supposed to get out. Keep going.
Okay.
It shall come to pass. Go ahead.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High thy power.
If what?
If thou shalt hearken.
If thou shall hearken. If you will listen. If you do listen. Keep going. Diligently.
Unto the voice of the Most High thy power.
Giving all your energy to listen. Listen to what?
The Most High thy power.
Listen to God. If you will listen to God. That's how simple it is. If you will listen to God diligently. Listen to everything. Not some things. Don't bend in. It's not saying to bend it to your will. It's saying just listen. Right? Go ahead.
To observe and do all his commandments.
Whoa, hold on. Now it's saying something else. First it said to listen. Go ahead.
To observe.
Now it's saying observe. Not only listen, but watch. Look. Observe is to look. To observe, to pay attention to. Go ahead.
And to do all his commandments.
And to do. There's three things there. Hearken, to listen. Observe, to watch. To observe, to watch. To do. Three steps, right? Three things that you have to do to be blessed. Keep going.
Which I command thee.
Which I what?
Which I command thee.
Which I what?
Command thee.
And you got to understand that it's an order. Christians, it's not an option. Seventh-day Adventists, it's not an option. Episcopalians, Baptists, Methodists, all the denominations that somehow have broken away from the main church, which is a Catholic church, which is not right? Which is a fallacy in itself, because even they don't hearken, observe, and do. None of them do, not fully. You know who hearkens, observes, and does? ISUPK. I don't know anybody else who does that. Only in here do I see listening, observation, and a willing to do everything that you're told. And again, from who? From the Most High, from God. You understand? Keep going.
That the Most High thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Let's not skip that. That the Most High thy what?
Thy power.
We have to understand that the Most High is our power. He's where our strength comes from. It doesn't come from within, like Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity, Islam, I self, Lord and Master. No. You are a God on this earth, but you too have a God. You understand? And you serve. You got to serve your God. You can't just walk around being served. You too must serve. You too must yield yourself to something greater. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child, you have the Most High. And you have your King Yahushai as your example, as the example of how to live your life as an Israelite in a righteous fashion. You understand? Because you know what we've forgotten as a people? We've forgotten our God, like I said before, and his expectations of us. And that's what we're going to go over more of today. The Lord and his expectations. Remembering the Lord and his expectations. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Go ahead. Read.
Mm-hmm. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Stop there. Read that all one more time.
Mm-hmm. But it shall come to pass.
It will happen.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High.
If you don't listen to God, your power.
To observe.
To observe.
To do all his commandments.
And to do.
Mm-hmm. And his statutes.
And you got to do the commandments and statutes.
Which I command thee this day.
Which I ask of you.
That all these curses.
No, which I ask of you.
This day.
Which, read after the word.
Which I command thee.
Which I ask you.
Which I command thee.
Which I beg of you.
Which I command thee.
which I tell you to do with authority, which is called a commandment. Go ahead.
That all these curses,
That all these curses, not some, not 50%, not a dab, not a little, not not umpa. You know what I'm saying? All of the curses, go ahead,
shall come upon thee
shall come upon thee
and overtake thee.
and overtake you. So they're gonna come up, they're gonna deal with you, and then they're gonna consume you and overwhelm you. Go ahead.
Curse shall be in the city.
And now it's gonna go into the curses, right? Now let's drop that. Let's drop that. That was Deuteronomy. Let's drop that. And let's go. Salakia. Let's go to Proverbs 9 and 10. The book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Most High.
What?
The fear of the Most High.
Part of us forgetting who we are and who our God is the fact that we don't fear anymore. We don't have a healthy fear of God. You understand? We are afraid to walk outside and to walk in our own neighborhoods, but we are not afraid of the God that could kill us completely, take away our life and our soul. We're not afraid of that. You understand? Read that again.
The fear of the Most High.
The fear. Let's see what it says. The fear of the Most High. Now, Christians will tell you that you shouldn't fear God. No, I don't fear God. God is on my side. God is my boy. Me and God, we walk hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? That's how Pastor Pork Chop will talk. You know what I'm saying? Sweaty Pastor Pork Chop with bacon collar. You know what I'm saying? Like, they love to say all manner of foolishness, man. They love to brag and to boast how on their side God is. You better hope to be on God's side, man. You have to worship the Lord. The Lord ain't gonna worship you. Read that again.
The fear of the Most High.
The what?
The fear.
Now, this is for some Christians. They don't know what's gonna come next is gonna surprise them. So for some Christians, this right here, it slips by them. You know, they're in a state of disbelief when they hear this. Go ahead.
It's the beginning of wisdom.
Read that whole thing again.
The fear of the
The
Most
what?
High. The fear.
The fear of the Most High is what?
It's the beginning of wisdom.
Is the beginning of wisdom. To fear God is the start of being wise. Let your mind digest that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let your mind digest that a little bit. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I didn't say this. Let's come out of the Bible. Read it one more time.
The fear of the Most High is
the fear of the Most High
is the beginning of wisdom.
Is the beginning of wisdom. If you fear God, you'll get in class. If you fear God, you'll get into the ISUPK. If you fear God, you'll stop being a whore. If you fear God, you'll stop being a whoremonger. If you fear God, you'll stop eating pork. If you fear God, you'll stop eating lobster. If you fear God, you'll change your life and you'll stop smoking cigarettes. If you fear God, you will do as God says in this book here called the Bible. King James 16:11. If you fear God, you'll treat your brother with love. If you fear God, you'll stop gangbanging. If you fear God, you'll take that beating to get out of a gang, out of the fear that God will kill you. You'll take the beating and you'll risk death if you fear God. If you fear God, you'll stay with your husband, no matter how sick he makes you. You know what I'm saying? If you fear God, you'll understand that your wife, she's being brainwashed by the world and she doesn't know all the evil shit, I'm going to say it, all the evil shit that comes out of her mouth is coming from her oppressor. If you fear God, you'll get yourself together, realize you're an Israelite, come back into the truth, and take what General Yohana has preserved for so many years for us, and you'll run with it. If you actually fear God, if you're not just saying it, but if you're actually listening, observing, and doing, you will be all right. You will be what God expects you to be. You will live up to the expectations God has for you if you first fear God. I'm emphasizing that because that is an important part of it. You really have to ask yourself, and even brothers and sisters who are struggling in this truth, who are struggling to stay in because of, and there'll be many reasons, man. You have to understand that when you come into the truth, that Satan is all over you, man. He's crawling up your back. He's in and out of your ears. You know what I'm saying? He's blurring your eyesight. He's got every manner of evil surrounding you, trying to devour you because you're worth it. You've become important when you come into the truth. You were nobody but back before you came into the truth, man. But when you come in, oh man, you're like candy. They're like, oh Lord, look at this one here. He thinks or she thinks that they can elude me. And that's when you become really important, man. When you're doing the Lord's work, when you're living for the Lord, when you're fearing God, that's when Satan will take a hold of you and try to pull you away, man. Try to get you to do everything contrary to what you should be doing if you fear God. Remember that. Keep reading.
And the knowledge of the holy.
And what?
And the knowledge of the holy.
And the knowledge of the holy.
Is understanding.
Is understanding. You have to understand that fearing the Lord is important. Some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us don't have an understanding. Now, let me tell you something. All of us can understand, but is the Lord working with you? You know what I'm saying? Have you humbled yourself and just kept pushing? You have to endure to this truth, man. You have to endure to be in the truth. That's how you get strong. When you were in the world, you were weak. You didn't know God. You didn't know what he expected. You didn't even care. But once you learn what he expects, man, it's holding you to a higher standard. You understand? Drop that and give me Psalms 111.
Okay.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Most High.
Wait a minute. Are we hearing this again? This is a different scripture than what we read before, and we're hearing the same thing. Go ahead.
It's the beginning of wisdom.
We're hearing the same thing again. Read it one more time.
The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom.
The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom.
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
Listen, until you actually sit down, listen, observe, hearken, observe, and do. When you start to do, right? When you start to partake in doing this work, doing the commandments, when you start to do that, that's when you'll gain understanding. Many people don't understand that until they start to do it. You understand? And even when you understand that, until you start to do all the commandments on a regular basis and you're working towards becoming better at doing them, each time you do something, you're like, oh shoot, you have these deep epiphanies, these deep understandings that come upon you, man. And you start to understand why it is the Lord gave you these things. Why it is that when you do these things, people look at you so differently. You start to understand that it does make you different because everybody else is doing whatever they want to do, but you're doing what you should be doing. Keep going.
His praise endureth forever.
His praise endureth forever. Let's drop that and get Salakia. Let's drop that and get Genesis 44:10. Genesis chapter 44 and verse 10.
The book of Genesis, chapter 44, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless.
Let's read that again.
And he said,
now
also let it be according unto your words.
Now let it also be according to your words.
He with whom it is found shall be my servant,